whatever zirconia crowns cost you, I think it should be in there and there about range. That should be the price. And of course, sir, it is very, sir, see, a good technician, a good lab, I might not be able to tell them that you use a cheaper quality zirconia so you don't charge me more. When the got to honest truth is, मेरे बाजू में किसी ने चाइनीज जर्कोनिया रखा और किसी ने लाहवा रखा, मैं शायद नहीं पहचान पाऊँ. So to think that someone is using cheaper zirconia, he should charge you less. I don't think that is how we go about it. So sir, based on labs capacity, based on their work, based on the kind of work they give you, kind of service they give you, they've decided a price for zirconia. Exactly. So exactly. So sir, to put a price in terms of how much was the material cost might be wrong. Absolutely. Sir, I'll give you an example of what my lab does in Hyderabad. So, sir, if I wanted to make an titanium arch, I would mill it in titanium and then if it is a malo, put individual crowns or maybe layer it with zirconia and all of that, ceramic or composite and all of that. Sir, I think we charge around 35,000 per arch when I am doing the work in titanium. And I think we charge around 20, so we charge around 32,000 for graphene. So we've capped it in that range and it works out for us. That being said, sir, there are various factors. मुंबई का प्राइस शायद बहुत अलग होगा. Yes, sir. So, sir, to be very specific to your question, sir, we don't see a reason why it would be costlier than zirconia or Emax or for that matter a titanium frame. It would be there and thereabouts. Initially, sir, few labs have access to this material right now, तो थोड़ा pricey लग रहा है. But I'm sure as we manage and as we go ahead and more labs get their hands on the product, that should also come down. Yes, sir. So, sir, we charge around 1800 for a zirconia crown, and we charge around the same amount for our GCAM crown. That is what we are going about. But then, sir, of course, lab.
Ultimately, the price the lab will charge will come down because from the same size disc. This is the lab secrets I am divulging out. Not that they will their milling is going to be easier. Like he rightly said that the designer's role is very important. So there is a art factor in it. There is a skill factor in the designing part, because when you are using a material which is new, it's a technician who will make sure that the connector thickness is that much, whether the thickness around the tie bases is that much. So the production cost may be slightly lesser, but the inputs that are required may be slightly larger. So as he rightly said that as more and more labs use it, they will realize that this is far better than using zirconia, and then you will find them pushing for this material rather than zirconia. And then obviously with everything, as the numbers grow, the price comes down. So
I would just like to add one more point to this. What I have noticed over a period of time is mostly the labs start on higher side when they are not aware of the material and they think के मेरा disc महंगा है, so let me charge more. Once they've done a few crowns, they immediately realize that this is very easy to work with and I don't need to charge so much more. That is when the prices start coming down, and I think
charge for a repeat. They don't know. Some doctor doesn't do the protocol. टूट गया फिर से repeat करना पड़ा. So many times you have to factor in one repeat, because as we do in our treatments also sometimes. So that is the fact. I strongly feel that as the time goes, it will become cheaper and cheaper. Right now 10 to 20%, within that range it should be, as zirconia, a good zirconia from a good lab. That is, you can make anything very cheap, but then at a cost of compromising on the quality.
At least in case of graphene, there is no scope for Chinese graphene and all that. Just like zirconia. One thing is 100% assured, graphene is going to come from the Spain parent company. So there is no scope for any.
Yes.
Ah,
You're
but
right. He's right.
It's a long way,
There will
but
be at least a few
long way.
few
Yeah.
more years.
Few more years.
Few more years because already the
So 2770. The patent expires around
make hay while the
27.
sun shines.
That is when we might
So,
see.
considering all my full mouth cases, when I sleep at night, sometimes I get, sometimes you deliver a full mouth case, and then that night probably, you are tense.
Yes.
So this is probably going to, I don't mind paying extra for my sleep.
Yes. Not the same night, the night before actually.
No, before is okay.
And even night after that. That is also important.
So this is really a good solution. Let's hope.
Any more questions or any doubts?
Actually, the parameters you just
Yes, I did not cover that.
Sir, mic.
Sorry. So, regarding failures or the problems we faced till date, one very common problem in the very beginning was GIC would not work and the crowns would just pop out. And we did not know what to do. So we figured out a solution which we've already told you. Then we thought that come what may, an implant frame will be monolithic. So our first 10 cases went very well, no problem. 11th or 12th case was the case which sort of started fracturing. And we had no clue why it is fracturing. First time it fractured, we increased the bulk. 15 days later, same problem. Then we consulted a few prosthodontists. We tried talking to other people, and they asked us to take JR again. We took our JR again, and the prosthodontist told us that there is a lot of cantilever going on in this prosthesis. You shouldn't be making a monolithic prosthesis. So class 2 and all of that. So that made us aware that not every time it is going to be monolithic. We will have to see where are the screw channels and what is the cantilever. After that, a couple of cases, there was a lot of resorption and very resolved maxilla, and the screw channel would come probably near the lip or the sulcus. So that again, if such a case was there, I wouldn't do monolithic. You have very less amount of material left because you cannot make this thicker. If you make this thicker, the lip support and all of those problems. So in a few cases, I would say if you have a doubt, and if it is not an immediate loading prosthesis or anything of that sort, there's no harm in first doing substructure and then doing this. Once you get a hang of what is happening and your lab has done a few cases, that is when it works really well. Then we've been doing monolithic unless we have a screw channel exiting very lingual, palatal or very buccal, we still do monolithic. And it is working really well for us. The other point was cantilever, as has been covered, not more than 10 mm. And so in the morning, I was asked what happens when there is an anterior deep bite. Will I be making a canine to canine prosthesis or not? See, one thing we've noticed is a lot of the time when the designer is designing a 3-unit bridge, connector thickness or connector is the part which is going to break most often, which is the weakest link between everything. Now with zirconia, what you need is around 9 to 10 mm square. So what our technicians do is when they are designing it, they probably don't leave too much space between your pontic and abutment. So that leaves you with very less space for connector, and 9 or 10 mm square is okay. But with graphene, you need 14 mm square. If the vertical clearance is not that much, you have an antagonist which is supra-erupted, you might probably not get that much space. But you will still need 14 mm square. So if I end up in such a scenario, there is a work around it. What I would do is, I would keep space between my pontic and my abutment, and then fill that space with connector. That gives you 14 mm square. In my design, I will probably not make my lingual embrasure so prominent. That gives me bulk. So in that case, if it was 2 Pontics, 2 abutments, I am okay. Even I have done a case wherein I have put 3 Pontics, but as sir said, we would like you to start with probably simpler cases first, get a hang of how it happens, and then probably try difficult cases. One more topic that did not get covered was how do we do high point adjustment. So ideally what will happen is a crown came, I check the margins, and then I check for high points. With with uh, with porcelain and zirconia, we are very used to using our diamond burrs to reduce our high points. That doesn't work with GCAM. We would recommend you to use composite polishing kit. So your white diamond or your gray diamond or maybe an acrylic polisher, that pink stone. So we reduce our high point and then you don't need to send it back to the lab. Micromotor, straight hand piece, cotton buff, diamond glaze paste or a polishing paste, paste it again and we can refix it. So high point is when I get called a lot of times that happens. And it is very important to polish the crown back after doing your high point adjustment. So if I've done high point adjustment and I don't polish it, I'm leaving rough surfaces on my crown. That is going to harbor plaque, biofilm, stains, and all of that. So I think we've pretty much covered almost all of it. But still, if there is a doubt, a question, I'd like to take it.
Bio-HPP, I mean strength-wise.
Sure,
Like
I
what
will-
you showed that there is one framework which has fractured. So is the Bio-HPP is comparable to G-Strong or G-CAM?
Sir, it is comparable to GCAM. Sir, I would not like to go into numbers. That is what. So when talking about strength, there are 4 or 5 parameters you will compare. Compressive strength, flexural strength, and all of that.
Is 3600 megapascals. This one is 3200 megapascals. Just 400 less. G-Strong will kick it out of the park altogether.
So, sir, again, a prosthesis fracturing will not solely depend on what is its compressive strength or what is its modulus of elasticity. No need. So, sir, more or less the numbers are there and thereabouts. For example, I think water sorption, we are a little better than them. Modulus of elasticity, they are around 300 more than us. Then compressive strength, we are a little better than them. But it is there and thereabouts. So in the end, it is about the application part. So that will strictly be your substructure material. Now that brings me to the topic. Okay, if the numbers are there and thereabout, I would assume the designing parameters would be there and thereabout. So where my monolith might fracture is where their monolith should also give away, because the numbers are there and thereabout. So
On that topic, you cannot do a monolith out of PEEK because it is you have to layer it with composite. But yeah, like he said, somehow I find that the flexibility of PEEK is slightly more. So, but all the values are very similar. But the greatest advantage is the ease of processing and the fact that you can do a monolith, you can layer, and you can make a framework with the same material. That is the great. Cost. Yeah, cost. Yeah, so Bio-HPP is far costlier than GCAM at the moment because it is made by Brident, which is a German company. You know that anything German cannot be cheap. So there are, beware of Chinese PEEK material which is also available at 1/4 the cost. So there is Chinese PEEK which many labs are using. My technician has also एक बार किया, उसको डंडा दिया, फिर उसने बंद किया, लेकिन वो बोला सर इसमें प्रॉब्लम नहीं दिखा मेरे को कुछ. बोला दिखता थोड़ी है प्रॉब्लम उसमें. जब ब्रेक होगा तब पता चलेगा. सो कॉस्ट टू कॉस्ट ऑफ कोर्स दिस Bio-HPP is far more costlier at the moment. So
making a prosthesis out of it.
So So basically, this material is more lab friendly, patient friendly, and doctor friendly.
And I think there's another material. I just got a disc to try, but I have not used Trinia.
Trinia,
So
yeah.
how it is-
Trinia is a
Sterling
glass
mold, yeah.
fiber.
Fiber
Glass
reinforced,
fiber.
right? Yeah.
So it is again a substructure.
Okay, not as
You can't make
not
monolithic.
monolithic. Yeah.
So I
But
guess
the parameters are exactly same as Trinia. It's the same, but except that it cannot be used as a monolithic. And one more thing, no, whenever it is a common thing, common practice. Whenever we give you a full arch framework, how do you test it? You just press it like this and test it, right? So you're not supposed to do that because that is not how the forces are falling on in the mouth. It is actually the torsional forces. So that's how you should check it. I also didn't know this. I went to Spain. Those people schooled me on this. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. You know?
I think even if two dentists start discussing about dentistry and materials, week and years wouldn't be enough. So somewhere we have to wrap it up. Yeah, last, as a clinician, I would love to sum up overall session of graphene. How I find and how I look towards graphene is definitely, as Harshvardhan said, I really started feeling since last couple of weeks and months that graphene or similar polymers are the future of dentistry, considering stress and mechanical points, especially to in relation to implant dentistry. As we all know that along with crown and bridges and endodontics, implantology is going to become bread and butter of dentistry. And I really look forward towards wonderful properties like modulus of elasticity, which is taking a center stage in case of graphene. Repairability is something really amazing to me because I really do not need to remove entire prosthesis, send it to lab. Now I can manage those small complications chair side only. I think handling of material by lab is really easy because of lack of centering and crystallization and other properties. So work becomes really faster. So morning also I said that clinicians like me who do not have chair side milling units, we really do not need to get into that right now because my lab can deliver me work next day, very next day. So I do not really need to have milling machine in my setup looking to from that express delivery point of view. Apart from that, radiolucent property is really amazing. Lighter weight of prosthesis really makes a difference. If I give option of heavy material and lighter material to my patient, definitely, even if I am a patient, I would love to go for lighter material. Apart from that, as a periodontist, I would love to comment on bacteriostatic property, which is really amazing. If my material itself is bacteriostatic, then what else I need in my patient's mouth, apart from rest of the properties. So overall, we can say that we are not giving you one lens which can take care of all photographic situations. It is not possible. Believe me, there are companies who will say 28 to 400, it will take care of everything. You will never get results. So quality always comes with the cost. Maybe you can consider cost as a lab efforts or practitioner's overall experience and all his efforts or selection of proper case. But at the end, I feel it has a bright future. And although we don't have long-term studies in India, but we have been doing a lot of cases. These guys in Hyderabad, you must visit their center. Next day onwards, you will start doing graphene in almost every case. So we find it as a wonderful future material. And with that promising note, I would like to conclude this session. Thank you very much for being with us. For any queries, doubts, or purchase related to material, you can always contact Kush Mahajan. And we are all the time there. You can always contact Harsh, me, or Akash, or Ramiz. We are always there to guide you, help you out, or if you have any doubts and queries, we are always there. Thank you very much once again. Thanks a lot.